Welcome to episode 4 of Diary of a Castaway, here on Print Island. Some people think I'm not really on an island, I'm just making this stuff up.
And the last thing that I would ever do is lie to you.
In this episode I talked to Colin Sinclair McDermott, somebody you would think would never have imposter syndrome, but keep watching, because he certainly does, or maybe had. I caught up with Colin back in February at the Sign and Digital show at the NEC, and we started to have a conversation. I, at that point, wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with my life. I had an idea, but I wanted to hear from Colin what his take was on going it alone and setting up your own business, and was it easy?
It's still hard.
Yeah.
I think it's always hard, to be honest with you. But I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. But yeah, listen, it's hard. I won't lie. Like I work a lot of hours, but it doesn't. I think the dream is you create something that doesn't feel like work, and that's what I've got just now. I love what I do. I'll work as many hours as I can, but I'm in control of that. So I think it's always hard. I think it's always been hard, but if you put the effort in and you surround yourself with the right people, as we've discussed before, then you can create whatever you want.
So was it 6 or 7 years ago you started working on your own? Or was it a time before that where you broke away from, let's say, the corporate world?
Yeah.
Or the world of employment?
Yeah, it was around about then. So it'll be about 6 years ago since I broke away from the corporate side, if you like. And I'll be honest, I kind of wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do.
Right.
And I probably had a period of about 6 months, kind of just, and it was actually around about COVID time.
Right.
And there wasn't really a great deal going on in the world, so I had a lot of time to think and kind of play around with different ideas. And back then, one of the things that you could do was there was a lot of good online courses started coming out in the world. So I spent a lot of that time upskilling, and I think just going through that process and seeing how other people were approaching things, I kind of came out with the idea about moving into the world of coaching, and I guess the whole idea was born from there. But it was nice to have the ability to step back and actually just have time to think about where I wanted to go, rather than being pushed into a decision.
Colin was motivated by helping others, particularly to avoid some of the difficulties he had in setting things up. And I'm not sure I'm motivated in the same way. I'm a little bit shallow in that I just want to do things I enjoy, but maybe we're at a different stage of life.
Still, the big driver for me today is helping people and stopping them going through some of the more negative experiences that I had as well. So if I could just help someone, one or two people, kind of not go through what I done and some of the mistakes that I made.
But one thing where me and Colin think the same is that every experience in your life is not necessarily wasted. There's a reason. Things happen to you, they might seem at the time to be difficult or pointless, but they make you the person that you are and make you able to help in some way or get through some challenge or difficulty that you wouldn't think of at the time.
And some of the mistakes that I made. And again, I'm glad I made them, because I'm now able to...
Brought you where you are.
Yeah, it's got me to where I'm at. So I like the idea of helping people and sharing that knowledge. And ultimately I get to relive kind of some of the things that I didn't get to experience as a business owner through the clients I work with now. So it's a really rewarding job.
Since we spoke, Colin has decided to write a book. I think he was thinking about it at the time, but the first chapter is now out. I'll put a link in the notes to this so you can have a read of that first chapter, see what you think. Then we got on to talking about manifestation. And this is a topic I find really interesting. My own daughter was looking for a tall, handsome accountant. So she wound down the window of the car and shouted out the window, "I want a tall, handsome accountant." She's now married with 2 children to a tall, handsome accountant. So maybe there is something in it. Colin had his own take.
I'm a big fan of manifestation, and
Really?
and everything that I've everything where I find myself just now hasn't happened by accident. I've known what I wanted to go for, and I've chased it until I've got there.
It's interesting because when you were talking about everyone in America having a coach, I was thinking of a Woody Allen film years ago where he had Paul Simon as in the cast, and all Paul Simon did, he was at a party, and the camera moved by, he's on the phone, and he's going, "Hi, yeah, I think I've forgotten my mantra." And this is where my recollection was wrong. It wasn't Paul Simon. He was in the film and he had more than one line to speak and did it quite well, actually. The guy in this clip saying, "I've forgotten my mantra," is a young Jeff Goldblum. I think one of his first speaking parts on camera.
His girlfriend's beautiful.
Yeah, she's great looking, great. Little tad on the androgynous side, but dynamite.
Yeah, I forgot my mantra.
And he's just getting his coach to tell him what his mantra is. But you're talking about manifestation.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, no, it's not that
Dissimilar. Do you know, it was one of the pieces of learning I'd done during the COVID time, and it was a big piece around manifestation. And again, I think probably at that point I thought it was a little bit airy-fairy,
bit woo-woo.
But you know, I came to where we're at just now at this expo 4 years ago. And I was watching people in the seminar area, and I'd never even contemplated doing anything like that before.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be on that stage next year. And I wandered around the show, and I was really impressed, kind of just with everything that was going on and the knowledge that was being shared. And I was sharing lots of updates on LinkedIn, and hopped on the train. I wasn't even past Wolverhampton, and I got a phone call from the show organisers. Right. Basically saying, "We've been watching all your stuff on LinkedIn throughout the show. How would you feel about speaking here next year?" And I was like, "Wow!" And this is my third year now speaking at the event.
Do you ever have times when you lose confidence and need somebody to say, "Actually, Colin, you're good at this"?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And even yesterday, I was given a session on the BSGA stand over there, and there was lots of compliments kind of coming my way, which I get really uncomfortable with. And yeah, like you do feel like a bit of an imposter. Like, I think we all go through that from time to time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's nice for people to acknowledge that. But again, I've got a coach I work with, and I need her to keep me on the straight and narrow sometimes, because I'm a big advocate for it. I think we all need someone to talk to who understands the space that we're in, and can just kind of be a sounding board or keep you guided. Again, there's conversations I had with her 2 years ago, which I was really dead against. And now these things are coming to fruition, and but I needed to go through that process to kind of get to where I'm at just now as well. So, so yeah, 100%. I think we all need that one person. I think that's why the coaching has worked so well, because I'm coming at it from a perspective of, I know what it's like to run a print business. I know the challenges, the day-to-day struggles. And I think it's really important that you have someone who gets that and can just say the difficult things and the uncomfortable things that sometimes you don't want to hear.
Yeah, I get that. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's part of my therapy. Yes, we all need a coach, as Colin said. And I've got a coach, Chris Jordan. He's really helping me through putting everything together, thinking about things I haven't thought of, coming up with ideas that I can't possibly entertain. But a lot of them I can. And Colin's the same, he's got someone to go to. It doesn't necessarily need to be a formal arrangement, just somebody you can talk to, someone you can moan to, or someone that can moan at you if they think you need a bit of a push. I'd recommend it.
You know, if you ever need a shoulder or a pair of these to listen, I'm a good listener. So
I forget my mantra. I'll be straight on the phone. Thank you.
Love it. Thanks, buddy.
And Colin, nice to know Colin as well, on an informal basis, is there for me. And I'll be there for him. And this is how this whole thing works. You could call it an old boys club if you want, but it's not just boys, it's girls too. And we all help each other along at different times, sometimes intensely for a while, then you don't see someone for a couple of years. But I find it really valuable. Next week, well, let's talk to the coach himself. I will get Chris Jordan. I've already recorded some footage with him. I'll put it together into some kind of sense, and you can watch it here on Diary of a Castaway, only on Print Island.